1,000 laughs over a weekend as swell. Vail Comedy Festival. Pet an alpaca or hike a trail.
Hey everybody, it's another awesome episode of Live from Vail Comedy Festival. This is a little different one. Usually we're interviewing comics. Here we're interviewing a pass holder from Denver, Jess Lau. Hi, Jess.
Hey, Mark. How are you doing?
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Good. Awesome. I'm so excited you're here. Just a reminder, everybody, Vail Comedy Festival is every Memorial Day weekend. If you're a comedian and you want to apply, November 1st is when those submissions open. If you want to get a pass holder to be like Jess, that's every January 1st. So late May every year, Vail Comedy Festival. Jess, how did you first hear about the Vail Comedy Festival?
Yeah, I like to watch stand-up comedy now and then. So I actually heard that there are things like festivals. So I started Googling like what is near Denver. And I just thought like what a cool time to have it over Memorial Day weekend. So yeah, Google, I suppose.
Okay. Google for comedy, things to do near Denver. That works. Mm-hmm. Everybody else, VailComedyFestival.com if you're looking for info on whatever next year. Maybe you're watching this in 2026 and you want info about the 2027 Vail Comedy Festival. That's the best place to go, VailComedyFestival.com. All right. So you're in Denver. That's a great comedy town. Do you get to see much comedy in Denver?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's so many shows at the brewery or Comedy Works and Rise. So definitely.
Oh. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Rise has their own comedy festival. Shout out to them in downtown Denver. I think do you know if it's back for a second year?
Yep.
It is? Okay. Rise Comedy Festival. Google that as well if you're into comedy festivals and you're in Colorado. Okay, so you make the decision, you buy your pass, you've got your pass, at least electronically, but not physically yet. And you got to make your way to Vail. Vail's about 100 miles from Denver, if the viewers don't know that. How did you get up to Vail?
Yeah, so I drove. So that was good. And it's an easy drive and it's so beautiful. So that was definitely
yeah, it's very pretty. We got lucky with the weather. It was very beautiful.
Yeah.
blue skies along the way. Did you come up? So it's a 3-day festival. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Mm-hmm. When did you head up to the mountains?
Yeah, I came up on Friday night after work. Just kind of drove up, and even though it's really not that busy on Memorial Day weekend, so that was nice. And nice. Yeah, it was an easy drive.
Okay, cool. So you're rolling to Vail. Are you up for talking about where you stayed? Were you in the town of Vail or?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I was camping actually.
This is great. This is terrific. Okay, let's hear about this. I love it.
Yeah, because I mean, Memorial, like May-ish is like when I start going out and camping. So this actually just, it's a great location, like being in Vail. So what I did was like I camped at night, hiked a bit during the day, being outdoors, and then saw the shows like during the day and the nighttime as well. So that honestly, that's like my perfect combination of a weekend.
How fun and how Denver of you, how on brand for Colorado.
It's true.
If you're a Colorado pass holder out there, forget the hotels. No, they're good partners, but camp a little. That's so fun. That's cool. Any run-ins with critters or any moose give you any trouble or elk, anything like that?
No, not at all. They did say that the bears had woken up and the moose were around and the foxes and stuff, but no, I mean, I don't think I'm that lucky to run into them. Yeah.
All right. Nice. All right. So then you got to find your festival badge. Tell us about that experience.
Yeah. So let's see. I checked out the schedule online and I think that helped like just orientate myself like where because all the shows are in a different location. So that I needed a little bit of orienting there. But yeah, I just showed up at a show and as I walked in, it was clear someone was checking for names and handed me my pass. So very smooth.
Nice. Okay. So you got your badge, your lanyard, you're ready to go to shows. So logistically for other people, I assume you parked at the parking structure, the public transportation center.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So and that was great because in the summer it's free to park there versus in the winter.
It's not free if you stay overnight. They go in at like 4 and 5 in the morning, something like that, and check for cars. But if you're there from like 9 in the morning till 9 at night, or even 2, 3 in the morning, no problem. It's totally free in and out. So great. And then you can walk from that parking structure to every venue.
Yes, I noticed the buses were running all the time too. So
yeah. Largest free public transportation system in North America in Vail, Colorado. Pretty cool.
Cool.
So do you remember what the first event was that you went to?
Oh, I went to the nighttime show on Friday at the Frost Bar.
Oh,
Yeah.
Frost Bar at Sebastian Hotel. Awesome. That was our very first time ever in that venue. What do you describe that venue as? A comedy venue?
It's like a really swanky, cool lounge bar. And they serve like food and drinks there. Yeah, I think that's one of the cool things about the whole festival is that it's in different locations and you don't feel like you're stuck in a theater room the whole time, and that's really nice too.
Yeah, you get some diversity in your places to watch comedy. So yeah, I really like Frost Bar was a surprise hit. It's a wide room. They say wide is good in comedy rooms, and we could pack people in. Good sound, good lighting. It was a good. They were a good partner. Real surprise thing there. Did you see any comedians at that show that you remember? Or just more generally, I guess, throughout the festival that you particularly liked?
Yeah, I definitely had some favorites. I'm definitely following them on Instagram now too. I loved Carmen Lagala. I think it was the Saturday headline.
Yeah.
I just think she had this ability to kind of push and pull, and all the audience like following along. And of course, she killed it, and she was so funny too. Other favorites were like Rob Haze and Peter Wang, and they were really awesome too.
Nice. Yeah, Peter Wang was awesome. So Rob Haze and Carmen Lagala were 2023 festival headliners. So we had about 30 comedians. So you heard there that some of the headliners were great. That 7:30 show on Saturday night was like all world. I'm glad you were at that show. That was very that was our best. I mean, all the shows were good, but that one was especially magical with the low ceilings, the great talent. Just everybody was in a good mood. It's just like we kind of clicked. Took like a day and a half to figure things out, and then that Saturday show was just that Saturday night show. We had three shows on Saturday night, but the kind of prime time one at 7:30 p.m. was really incredible. And Carmen Lagala, like you said, she absolutely killed it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. You get to Vail, it takes a little bit of time to just unwind, walk around town, enjoy everything. And then boom, like you're having the best time ever.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. Tell us a little bit about your hikes. Any standout hikes?
Oh, this year there was a lot more snow in the higher elevations. So I did stuff like close to like right along Vail, off of Gore Creek, just walking from downtown along the creek is just so beautiful. Their Betty Ford Alpine Garden. I really love flowers.
That's so great.
I think that's just like phenomenal place to like within 10 minutes of walking downtown. Did a couple other longer hikes too. And it was just really good weather and I think all around. Yeah. Good spots.
That's awesome. Cool. Did you have any special meals or how did you handle food? Were you cooking over a fire out at the campgrounds or were you going to some of these fancy restaurants?
I think when I was camping, breakfast, that's usually what I did. But I think most of the shows had a place where it served food. So like at the Frost Bar, I got a burger there. Nice. So at most of the places, I think I sampled some of the menu and all really solid food. Nice. I can't remember the place I went to for happy hour. It's in the basement. It wasn't at one of the shows, but anyway.
Let's see. To describe it, I'll figure it out. Was it close to the covered bridge?
Yeah.
The George.
The George, yeah.
The George, yeah. That was a popular hangout for comics. Yeah. The George has great food. They're not officially a festival partner, but a little secret here. Sounds like they're going to be next year. So I feel like I can advertise them a little bit. The George, they're great. Steps from the public transportation center we were talking about earlier. Do you remember what you ordered there?
I had their fish tacos.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, check those out. I should say for context, I should have said this earlier. It's been about 2.5 weeks since the festival. So if Jess or I are kind of hazy on some details, it's because it's been a couple weeks.
Yeah. But what I do remember is that it was a good time. So I'm definitely looking forward to next year. And it's, Mark, it's a great time. And the comedians are all like, they're super nice people. They're really just phenomenal performers too. So it was a really good experience overall.
That's awesome. Did you get to talk to any of the comedians, like run into them in the streets or at bars?
Yeah, I did.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Anybody in particular?
Oh, I suppose like maybe before or after a show might run into somebody. I think let me think. Yeah, I had a couple different conversations. I guess the key thing in my memory is like it's really cool that they're all from different places.
Yeah.
And they all talk about their own comedy scenes, like what it's like in different cities, just like Denver has a different one too.
Yep.
Comparing that. And I loved how everybody had different backgrounds about how they came upon comedy. And I think that shows up in their jokes too. So I love how like different and diverse the comics are.
That's awesome. Cool. Did you go to any of the podcast tapings? Those were
I
kind
did
of
not.
early in the day.
Fortunately, I can make it. Yeah.
Well, lucky for you, you can watch them on YouTube.
That's true. Yeah.
Hippie Not Hippie Pod is it was the podcast. We did 4 different episodes. Carmen Lagala has an episode. I've watched that one. It's hilarious. It's really good, really interesting. You learn a lot about Carmen and Devontre Coleman from San Francisco in that episode. And Zach Moss and AJ Finney are the hosts of that podcast. And it was recorded at 10th Mountain Whiskey. Those are all really good. I don't think they're all out yet, but 2 or 3 of them are out now. And by the time people watch this, all 4 will be out. So check those out.
That'll be great.
Did you go to the magic stuff at all?
Yeah, no, I didn't catch that either. I think
Okay.
this is the trouble I had with like between enjoying Vail and catching the comedy.
There's a lot to do. It's no problem. You got the pass. You can go in and out anytime you want.
Right, yeah.
All access.
But I heard people talking about it and they really liked it. I think they were pleasantly surprised. Yeah.
Yes, the magic was it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. We have 2 different things. We have a free family-friendly magic thing that's like outdoors. It's in Lion's Head. We did it at Rocket Fizz stage. Rocket Fizz is a candy store in Vail that sponsored these free magic shows. We had hundreds of kids and parents at these shows. Really cool. Flew in a magician, and those were super fun. But then there was also on Sunday, there was like a PG-13 magic show, like in a venue, and you needed a pass to get in, or you could buy a one-off ticket to it. And that thing, like, it blew some people's minds. It was really, that's the second year in a row that it has blown minds. So if you want a secret about the Vail Comedy Festival, go check out the magic.
The magic show, yeah, really unexpected, good. But that's really cool because a lot of families are interested to participate, but maybe not necessarily always PG-13 or R-rated comedy shows.
We had a pretty funny experience where, I mean, the kids at the PG-13 show probably were as young as 10. There were definitely some younger kids there. And we had a one-man show, and then we had the magic show, and we had an open mic, a show-up showcase immediately afterwards. And so, like, a lot of the audience stuck around. There were, like, by the time the show-up showcase was really going, there were 30 people in the audience. It was really fun as an open mic for comedians out there. But what was funny was in the beginning, when the host got up, it was a little blue, if you will. That's code in comedy for like R-rated. And there were still some of those 10-year-olds hanging around, and we were telling them, "Hey, parents, we're going to start an open mic here. You might want to get going."
Right, yeah.
And
I stuck around.
Like the first couple of jokes came out, and people were scrambling for the door. Like, this is not for us. But luckily, a lot of people stayed and had a really good time. And several of the festival headliners did that open mic, which is really cool.
Great,
see them work on some new material. Okay, so let's see. We talked about lodging. We talked about food. How about things? Anything that you would like to see different in 2024? Maybe some of your friends come and participate. You want them to enjoy something in a different way. Any ideas?
Yeah, I think the hardest part for me, honestly, was like, because there were so many shows, was like, I think like building up all the energy to go like back to back. Honestly, like that was tough. Like sometimes thinking like, am I going to make all the shows at the same time? So as we talk about some of the shows I wasn't able to make, I'm like, oh, I'm a little bit bummed. But like I don't think that's something you can fix. So like, that part,
there's 20 plus events. Most people don't go to all of them. Some people do. You can definitely, as a comedian on stage, you start to recognize some of the faces in the audience because they're at every single show. That's a good problem to have. All right. That was a very positive way to I guess we're not really going to fix that probably. I will say that I've been to a lot of comedy festivals. Two of my biggest complaints, you mentioned one of them earlier, is when all the shows are in the same place, because you really do get a little stir crazy, and it just feels like too much in that one venue. And you just, I don't know, everything blurs together. So it's nice to be able to move around, especially when you're walking around some places beautiful as Vail. But the second thing is a lot of festivals do overlapping events. So you physically can't be at two shows at the same time, but they're happening simultaneously. So you get a lot of FOMO, and also you get this problem where like people will come to see a specific comedian. They'll get up 30 minutes into the show, their set finishes, and like 10 people will stand up and leave to go to a different show to try and go see a different comedian. And I feel like it's disruptive, and it's kind of, I don't know, it feels the way you were just expressing, like you feel like you're missing out. So as long as we can and keep this kind of small enough, we're not going to do overlapping events. We like to do them, have a herd of laughers move between venues.
It was definitely like that, like finishing one show and we're all like, okay, where's the next one?
Yes.
Over there.
Nice.
Nice.
Good. Okay. Anything you particularly liked about the festival? Maybe you could compare it to other events like festivals, if you've ever participated in any others.
Yeah. I mean, other festivals, I guess I mentioned a lot of times it's more like theater seating, and maybe it's even assigned seating. So, that pros and cons of that. But I think, I guess I would say the chair is really important when you sit so long. So having a variety was good. Like, we were in a clothing store for one, and they had couches, which was pretty cool. And I don't know, I think that's a good part about just change of scenery and just moving around a little bit. I sat in the front row for one of the shows, so that always comes with its own roast potentially, which is all good. Sure. But I wouldn't want to sit in the front row every time, so it's good. Right. You get to kind of choose around. Yeah, I think that was nice. Yeah,
that's awesome. Cool. All right. Just more generally, any what kind of adventures are you getting into the rest of this summer, 2023? Any fun camping trips or?
Yeah, I've been hiking a lot. I'm a fairly slow hiker, and with the goal of hiking just slightly faster. So okay. That's what I'm doing this summer is hiking and camping a bit. So I have some kind of like big hikes coming up this month. So we're getting ready for that. In Denver, it's been really weird. It's been raining a lot. Unseasonably, like all day long, not just little thunderstorms. So that's been kind of kicking me in the butt a little bit. But
sure. It's made everything super green, which is nice.
That's true. Yeah. And then a bit of comedy. I just bought some upcoming shows tickets I got really excited over.
Who are you going to see?
Like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler.
Oh, I just saw that in the newspaper. That's so cool.
October 1. So I was so thrilled when I saw that. I was like, I gotta get this ticket.
That's awesome.
Like total legends, right? So that'll be really great. And I'm noticing some of the late night writers are kind of touring around a bit.
Yeah, because of the strike.
So of course, unfortunate for the situation of what they're in, but we get a really rare opportunity that they're traveling outside of like LA, New York. So that's
hopefully the strike isn't still going next Memorial Day, but if it is, sure. we might get some bonus headliners on the festival. All right. Well, this has been a great conversation. I hope this was helpful to anybody who's considering getting a pass or is interested in the Vail Comedy Festival. We've been talking to Jess Lau from Denver, who bought a pass, came up to Vail, camped for the weekend, and got to see a ton of great comedy. Shouted out Carmen Lagala, Frost Bar, The George, a great place to get a fish taco. And any last thoughts or comments, Jess?
It was a great time. I 100% recommend. Totally would do it again. So I think, I'm happy to talk about it because it was really fun.
Cool. Will we see you in 2024?
Yeah, planning on it.
All right. Memorial Day weekend, everybody. Vail Comedy Festival. You can find info at vailcomedyfestival.com. November 1st, comics can apply. January 1st, the general public can buy their passes. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of Live from Vail Comedy Festival. If you enjoyed this one, you can find all the others on YouTube. We got volunteers. We got comedians. You've got all kinds of people talking about the Vail Comedy Festival. So check it out. Thanks again, Jess. Everybody have a great day. We'll see you on the next
Great to
recording.
see you, Mark.